15 in the NFL, and we are hurtling towards the playoffs. Thanks for joining me. You're watching Picks with David. Sorry I've been away for a while, but hey, things happen in life. But we're ready to begin with 5 great games this weekend. So let's get started, and we'll begin with our first game in Detroit. We got some great matchups this weekend, and this one could be the matchup of the day as the 10-3 Buffalo Bills take on the 12-1 Detroit Lions. Now, the Bills are looking to continue to stay close to that number one seed in the AFC. They come off of a disappointing loss at the Los Angeles Rams. The Lions have been cruising along, and I think, with the injuries that they have on their defense, this is going to be a very tough matchup. I still think that the Lions are the best team in the NFC, but you can't win them all, and I'll take the Buffalo Bills to slide past the Lions and that weakened defense. Game two is in our early window, and it's the 6-7 Miami Dolphins at the 8-5 Houston Texans. Now, the Texans are coming off of a bye here, and it looks like, that they have kind of faded down the stretch after an early big time start. They're not the team everybody expected them to be with the additions that they have had on their roster. Joe Mixon has been carrying the team with the running game as CJ Stroud has struggled here in his sophomore season. Now, Miami is fighting for their playoff lives and really needs a victory here in Houston, and I think that they're going to get it as their offense will overpower a Houston defense that has struggled from time to time. I'll take the Miami Dolphins to stay in the playoff hunt against the Houston Texans. Another game of the day here as it's a battle of Pennsylvania. The 10-3 Pittsburgh Steelers also trying to stay in the hunt for that number one seed in the AFC against a team that's right on the cusp of that in the 11-2 Philadelphia Eagles. The Steelers have not won a game in Philadelphia since 1965, and I don't think they're going to do so today. The Eagles' defensive front is very good with Jalen Carter, a possible defensive player of the year candidate. The Eagles' offense may have struggled a little bit here, but they can always rely on Saquon Barkley and that very good offensive line to open up holes even against a strong Steeler defense. I like the Eagles here as the Steelers are without George Pickens for the second consecutive week. I'll take the Eagles to beat the Steelers on Sunday. Sunday night football on NBC. We've got the Green Bay Packers at 9-4 taking on the NFC West leading Seattle Seahawks at 8-5. Now the Seahawks have to maintain a victory here to stay ahead of the Los Angeles Rams, who are now surging after a big win against Buffalo this last week. Other teams in the division have fallen by the wayside. Green Bay, I don't think there's any way that they could catch the Lions in their division, but they definitely want to get into the playoffs, and this could be a playoff preview from both these teams. I like the Green Bay Packers to go on the road against a Seattle team that, while they are very good at stopping the run, has some issues in their secondary. I think Jordan Love, with his array of receivers, will light up the Seattle defense. I like the Packers on the road in Seattle. Monday Night Football, the 4-9 Chicago Bears take on the 11-2 Minnesota Vikings. And the Vikings are not only still in the hunt for the division, but also for the number one seed in the NFC, and not a lot of people are talking about it. But with the possible loss to Buffalo coming earlier in the weekend, Minnesota could really put pressure on Detroit for that number one spot if they can get past a sneaky Chicago Bears team. Now, the Bears have really fallen by the wayside since earlier in the season and have lost several games in a row. They fired their head coach. They have promoted their offensive coordinator, who is in his first year as the offensive coordinator. They fired the offensive coordinator too, and this guy took over. And so, I mean, it's just a mess in Chicago. There's no way that I could pick the Bears. I don't think there's any chance that they have of winning this game. I'll take the Minnesota Vikings on Monday Night Football. So there you have it. Week 15 picks with David. Sorry I've been away for a while, but I'll try to do my best to keep making some videos. Even if you don't see me in them, at least you'll get the disembodied voice. Have a great weekend. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.